This program is brought to you in part by Swift Canoe and Kayak. People who know paddle Swift. And by Eureka, the spirit of adventure.
Oh, the outdoors. The outdoors to me is just magic. It is absolutely amazing.
It's pretty much everything in my life, to tell you the truth.
For me, it's getting away from the everyday stresses.
I think life kind of slows down. You don't take for granted things you may do when you're at home.
You'll just find that, stress leaves your body and you're just, happier.
It's just nice to be outside and do things that not everybody does and see things that not everybody sees, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons as to why I like getting outside.
The outdoors, fresh air, sun, water, wind, rain, and snow. A chance to reconnect with nature. In this series, we explore some of the places and activities that you can enjoy in the outdoors, and all within a couple of hours of home. So join us as we get outside and recharge our soul.
One of the cool things about getting outside and doing outdoor activities is you meet other people that like doing the same kind of things, or even slightly different things, but people that enjoy being in the outdoors. And I've been lucky that I've been able to meet some amazing people in the outdoors.
I started off in the outdoors. My first camping trip, I was 17 days old. My parents took me out, kind of threw me right into it. It was a week-long adventure. I remember nothing of it. But since then, I remember camping pretty much every weekend through my childhood. And then I was into scouting, and I was into a scout group that was very active in the outdoors. And that led me into kind of discovering nature as my own. From there, I ended up giving back to scouting. I did 5 years as a leader and taught these kids, everything that I knew about the outdoors.
I started camping, I think my first trip was when I was 2 months old. It was winter camping in Algonquin Park. With my parents, and I don't think there's been a year that I haven't winter camped since then, and I'm 21 now, so I've been doing it my whole life. We camp in all 4 seasons. Being in a big family, camping has always been our go-to. We camp almost every single month of the year, sometimes multiple times a month, and that's just, I was brought up that way, and I'm continuing to do things that way, and that's just, I do it a lot.
General outdoors enthusiast. I love to trail run. I love hiking, camping, stand-up paddleboarding. Throw anything at me and I'll do it. I just love being outdoors.
Honestly, for me, it's getting back to part of my childhood, because we grew up moving across the country with, my dad was in the Air Force. And we always spent our times outdoors. I belong to a generation of get outside, be home when the lights come on. I belong to the generation of you can hear your mother calling you for dinner. But our days were always outside.
We do all seasons, spring, summer, winter, fall. You gain appreciation enjoying each season differently. Each season has its own thing to offer. Winter especially, I enjoy winter because summer, spring, fall kind of all similar. Winter sort of has that different feel. Life kind of slows down more in the winter time. It's more quiet. Everything looks different. Winter's one of my favorite seasons to camp for sure.
I do camping, I do paddling, I do hiking. Anything that I can do to get outside.
Well, canoeing, of course. I love doing the canoeing. That actually started when I was a late teenager. My dad brought a couple canoes home, and then when I was done college, my wife and I went out. I was actually looking for a big boat to buy and couldn't afford it, and whittled it down to a canoe. And I mean, that still allowed us to do the camping, which is the other thing I like to do, the fishing. I was heavy into photography, so you could go places people didn't go. You get out there with your camera gear and your camping gear and your canoe, and you're paddling and seeing stuff, and like I've seen stuff that people just don't see. I've seen wolves. I've seen moose, I've seen different types of animals, different types of scenery, and that, with the canoe, that's perfect. That's really what I enjoy doing outdoors.
I do a lot of things. I mean, I do day hikes, a lot of day hikes. Canoeing, I'm a huge canoeist, so I love to get out on the river and just paddle the day away. Canoe trips, right? So getting now more technical into portaging and just getting to the backcountry and being away from people. And then when I'm on backpacking trips and I'm just hanging out, sometimes I'll read, sometimes I'll build a shelter and decide to forego the tent just to kind of give myself another challenge. Pioneering, bushcraft, I kind of toy with all that stuff. Meditation, reflection, some other great, activities for being outside, and exploring, checking things out, like finding new ways to cross rivers and setting up rope bridges and just doing outside fun stuff like I used to do when I was a kid.
The nice thing about trail running is that you can just, grab your running shoes and head outside. You don't need anything fancy. Depends on where you're running. For me, it's about getting outside and enjoying the physical aspect and just that mental clarity that you get. You can really ignite your senses. You can see so many beautiful things, the colors, the animals.
My favorite activity to do in the outdoors is camping in the backcountry. I do a lot of that all year round. Right now I'm actually on a backcountry camping trip with my camping buddy Tim, and it is late fall, starting to turn into winter. So you can see a little bit of snow in the air. So we don't let any season stop us.
Camping, I'd say, is one of my favorite things to do outside because camping is so general, right? There's so many things you can do while you're camping.
I really love camping and outdoors. Heading north and hitting Algonquin and Arrowhead, beautiful, beautiful spots to go year round.
So winter camping tends to scare people with the word winter in it. Me included, I don't like the cold, which is why I don't camp in a regular tent like most people do. I sleep in a hot tent, which is a canvas tent, or really it's any tent that has a heat source. In our case, we use a wood stove.
A lot of people don't do winter camping, and I'm not sure why I still winter camp, because when that first cold comes in and I get all tight, and I'm just a skinny little guy, so I get cold quickly. And I'm like, nope, not winter camping this year. I say it every year, the first cold that comes in. And then I'm out in stuff like this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Why don't I have my tent with me? Winter camping is one of those things that for an outdoors person, it's just something else to do. It's just another day to go camping. But to everybody that you say, hey, I'm going camping this weekend, they go, are you nuts? Are you crazy? And there's a small part of me that goes, yeah, I am. It's -40 and I'm going.
If I had my way, I would be out camping all the time.
Camping can provide you with some great opportunity to capture some really cool stuff outside, whether it be picture or video. Although one of the challenges of filming outside is winter conditions, obviously very different than spring, summer, and fall. Temperature is probably the first thing that comes to mind when you first think of winter. Little things like keeping your batteries warm. So what you see on film, that 5 to 10 second scene of hiking is probably multiplied by a lot in terms of how much time it takes to get that shot done or those shots done.
Weather doesn't limit me. Gear can limit me. So I'm always prepared. Like today I've got a soft shell on, it's lightly snowing, it's gorgeous, but I've got my shell in my bag in case it starts to pour rain. So following the Boy Scout motto of be prepared, and in all honesty, does weather affect me? I don't think I've been on a camping trip more than twice where I haven't had at least a day of rain. And I've been on a dozen trips where it's rained the moment I've put in the water to the moment I've taken out. So, no, just put on a shell.
Don't let the weather affect how you feel. Runners every day think, oh, do I want to go outside? Yeah, once you get out there and enjoy it, dress up, bundle up, layer up. Today it's snowing and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm just a sucker for snow and that's fine, but don't let the rain stop you. Don't let the snow stop you. If it's overcast, it's just it's just every day is a nice day to get outside. Just don't be afraid of it, embrace it, and get out there and enjoy it. There's so much to see, just walking around your neighborhood, just exploring your own area.
I'm fortunate enough to be living right close to the shore of Lake Ontario, and there's the Waterfront Trail. I've hiked it from Ajax all the way out through to Whitby, and you get to hike along just the bluffs through Ajax overlooking Lake Ontario. As you hike towards Whitby, there's the Lynn Shores Conservation Area where there's a great marsh, which I've also paddled in. There's a trail with birds that'll eat out of your hand.
Even in the city, like I say, urban paddling. I'm 5 minutes from my house, I can be on the river. And if you've not been outdoors and you don't spend a lot of time outdoors, you really need to. Even if it's just walking to the local park, hanging out, somewhere, getting out there. It's so refreshing. You see so many things, you hear things you've never noticed before. Hear the birds. You'll see the minks and the weasels going up and down the river banks. The kingfishers up and down, the ducks, all that sort of stuff.
I think the outdoors has impacted my life completely. It is my life. I'm an outdoor blogger. I have a page on almost every social media platform that I post pictures of my trips on. I have a YouTube channel that I like to share my experiences camping, not always good experiences, and some are good. So it's nice to have the outdoors as the theme in my life, and it kind of dictates everything that I do, in a good way, that is.
Paddling Adventures Radio, that has opened up a lot of things. It's a weekly show that we do, talking all types of paddle sports, canoeing, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, rafting. And the thing I like about it is doing the research for the show each week. We've learned so much, and I've gone beyond just a canoe tripper. I mean, I've been a canoe tripper for almost 30 years, and now I own a kayak, and I've gone stand-up paddleboarding, I've done the rafting. I've learned things that are out there and about people that are out there doing the paddle sports that is like you never knew existed.
Why should we get outside? We should get outside because it affects our mental health. Bare bones. I've done a lot of work for mental health organizations, and the one thing that I love about hiking and about the wilderness in general is that it's an opportunity to calm the body and mind. And that's why people need to get out. They don't need to come out so they can see the rabbits or the birds and let them eat from your hands. No, that's not cool at all. But they need to come out so that they can just be.
Just get out there and explore and just enjoy it. You'll just find that stress leaves your body, and you're just happier and just more physically fit. You just feel great all around by the time you get home.
To me, being in the outdoors is being in the real world. The real world to me is not the rules that we've made for day-to-day life that we all have to follow. That is garbage. Out here in nature, you have to deal with nature's rules.
The outdoors is it's my place to re-energize, reconnect, and disconnect at the same time. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to start realizing, that is, we're so connected and focused on this one little area of our life. And then you come out here, and that ball, it's like a knot in the shoulder. And then it disappears. It's amazing.
It's different than going to work every single day and breathing the fresh air, and just being outside kind of, makes you realize what everything's all about.